I know. We need to. Yeah.
They always run, so that's. They don't have anything.
Yes.
You should, that's fine. But that's cool. Yeah. I'll get it. All else. Oh, really? You're all right. Which would make sure, because he said, is through. You get it closer, they said, I see, they would have.
Thank you.
Sort of like, oh, you think this is.
Good to say.
You don't like my more. Sometimes people don't understand my. This he is a good.
David.
Oh.
I was gonna.
Sorry. I think it's a good thing. You know. It's a good story.
That's good. Yes. Otherwise, you know, you want to. So you're fine.
See you with that, like.
Your body.
But those states can want something because because you can't.
All right. So me too. I really actually. Yeah.
Yeah. What's in there for? For me, it's the water. It's not the concept. So much goes.
Oh, yeah.
And they always just get told, "Oh, you're close." Yeah, the theory is to be. It's just.
Yeah.
You say see. Yeah. This is
It's more like a discussion.
Yeah, of course.
Guess that's how.
Already sold all of it.
Yeah, just rise it as a challenge. Remember the same, just like. Okay.
Well said. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 10:06. Before we get into the full meeting agenda, December 20th, 2025, Chicago Planning Commission, I want to quickly provide guidance to those who want to provide testimony on the cases presented for public hearing today. A few of you may have already submitted forms electronically. For anyone else who may wish to testify before the Planning Commission, please fill out the sheets located at the table where you entered the room. Please include your full name, address, if you are for or against the proposal, and if you are here representing yourself or an organization. Please hand your sheets to one of the staff members. People who have completed forms will be called on after each item is presented. Out of respect for other speakers, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please line up at the microphone behind me and to my left in the order I call your name. Please do not repeat comments that have been made by previous speakers. Public comment portion of the meeting is not a question and answer session with staff or the applicant, but an opportunity for attendees to voice their opinions on a particular proposal. Out of respect for others, please do not interrupt or disrupt the speakers. Any individual who disrupts the presentation or any subsequent comment session may be asked to leave the council chambers or if necessary, may be escorted out by security. We now have a roll call. Commissioner Boatright.
Present.
Commissioner Brumfield is present. Commissioner Castaneda.
Present.
Commissioner Kadakian.
Present.
Commissioner Lyons.
Present.
Commissioner Murphy.
Present.
Commissioner Ramirez Rosa.
Present.
Commissioner Tillman.
Present.
Commissioner Turner.
Present.
Commissioner Villegas. We now approve the minutes from November 20th, 2025, regularly scheduled Plan Commission meeting. The minutes were distributed prior to today's hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regularly scheduled meetings of the Chicago Planning Commission held on November 20th, 2025?
So.
Moved by Commissioner Boatright, seconded by Tillman. Commissioner Tillman. A roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright.
Yes.
Commissioner Brumfield abstains. Commissioner Castaneda.
Yes.
Commissioner Kadakia.
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons.
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez Rosa.
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman.
Yes.
Commissioner Turner.
Yes.
Motion passes. We will now seek approval for the proposed 2026 CPC calendar. The calendar maintains that the meetings will be held on the third Thursday of each month. A list of dates was circulated to the Planning Commission members prior to today's hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed 2026 CPC meeting calendar?
So.
Moved by Commissioner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't know who it was.
Oh, yes, we heard.
I know who you are. I heard your voices. And I think seconded by Commissioner Tillman. Roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright.
Yes.
Commissioner Brumfield is yes. Commissioner Castaneda.
Yes.
Commissioner Kadakia.
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons.
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez Rosa.
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman.
Yes.
Commissioner Turner.
Yes. Passes.
As a reminder, we will take public comments on the items on the agenda after each item has been presented. If you have not already done so and you wish to speak on an item, please complete testimony slip available at the table just outside of the room. Staff members are available to assist if needed and will collect the forms for you. Now we'll move on to the public hearing presentation portion matters submitted in accordance with the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance and or the Chicago zoning ordinance. First item today is listed as D1 proposed residential plan development submitted by Capricorn Design and Build LLC for the property generally located at 3746 South Michigan Avenue. The applicant requests a rezoning for the subject property from RM5 to RM5.5 to create multiple sub-area plan development with 4 proposed residential buildings. The maximum number of dwelling units for the overall plan development will be 90, along with 56 parking stalls, and the maximum overall FAR of the plan development will be 2.5. This is item number 22883, located in the 3rd Ward. James Winter will provide context overview and present the proposed plan. James.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, my name is James Gwinner with the Department of Planning and Development. The applicant, Capricorn Design Build LLC, has submitted an application for proposed plan development at the property generally located at 3746 through 66 South Michigan Avenue. To rezone the subject property from RM5 to RM5.5, create a multiple sub-area plan development with 4 proposed residential buildings. Maximum number of dwelling units for the overall plan development will be 90, along with 56 parking stalls, and the maximum overall FAR of the plan development will be 2.5. The subject site is located in the Douglas community area. Existing land uses in the neighborhood include multi-family residential and single-family residential, business and commercial, institutional, and parks and recreation. Property is located on the west side of South Michigan Avenue, bounded by sites zoned primarily as C13 and RM5, and within 2 blocks of 3 neighborhood schools. The site is well served by public transportation options and is located within approximately 830 feet of the CTA's number 29 bus line stops on State Street and number 39 bus line stops on Pershing Road, and approximately 1,620 feet of the CTA Green Line stop at 40th Street and Indiana Avenue. The site is located in the 3rd Ward, and Alderman Dow has provided a letter to the Plan Commission expressing her support. Here's an aerial view from the northeast and street elevation graphic showing the heights proposed project in relation to nearby buildings, and a rendering of the 4 residential buildings at street level. Here are views of the site from ground level, showing the currently empty site at the top photo and the other neighboring buildings and the photos below. Another view of the empty site looking toward the former YMCA building that is just to the west, and I'll see alley to the back. Now I will turn the presentation over to Sylvia Mikas, the applicant's attorney, who will further explain the details of the proposal.
Thank you, James. Do you mind going back to slide 6?
Thank you. Good morning, Vice Chair Brumfield and members of the Plan Commission. My name is Sylvia Mikas. I'm an attorney with Taft Law, located at 111 East Wacker in Chicago, Illinois. Along with my colleague, Graham Grady, we represent the applicant, Capricorn Design and Build LLC. Also presenting today is our project architect, John Hanna, with Hanna Architects. Present and available for questions are Yola Whipple, the manager of the applicant, as well as Bart Lazarczyk and Ian Whipple, also members of the applicant's team. The subject property contains a net site area of 41,978 square feet and is currently vacant and unimproved. The subject property is generally bounded by East 37th Place on the on the north, and South Michigan Avenue on the east. As mentioned before, the applicant seeks to amend the property's existing RM5 residential multi-unit district to an RM 5.5 district, then to a residential plan development in order to develop the property with 4 4-story buildings. The proposed residential development will be constructed in 4 phases, with each residential building located within its own separate sub-area. The proposed residential development will consist again of a total of 90 dwelling units, of which 18 will be on-site ARO units. As the upcoming site and floor plans will reflect, each of the proposed residential buildings will include an FAR of 2.5, so about 26,238 square feet per building, a zoning height of 47 feet, and provide a total of 14 parking spaces, of which 9 will be located within the basement level of the building, and the remaining 5 will be exterior parking spaces located at the rear of the building, accessed off of the alley. The proposed plan development also seeks the following relief for each building: a reduction of the required 50-foot rear setback to 21 feet, and a waiver of the required loading berth. Next slide, please. And this is, as you've seen before, the final view of upon final construction of all 4 buildings. Next slide. Again, the top photo reflects the existing subject property. You can see the YMCA building at 3763 South Wabash at the rear of the property. And then the remaining photos show the adjacent buildings to the subject property. Next slide, please. And again, this is a closer view from our property at 3764 South Michigan with a view of the property, the YMCA building at 3763 South Wabash. Next slide. And here's our project timeline. On January 22nd of 2025, the applicant presented its plans at Alderman Dowell's 3rd Ward Town Hall meeting. And then during the months of March up until September, we worked with the community stakeholders, including meetings with St. Thomas Episcopal Church, the Renaissance Collaborative, and also the Southside Community Arts Center. Upon securing their support, we moved forward with filing the application, and it was introduced at the September 25th City Council meeting. Between the time of September to November 14th, we discussed some changes requested by Alderwoman Dowell and also DPD. And on December 18th, we're here today to present our final project plans to the Plan Commission for recommendation. Our projected timeline for construction is to commence construction March 2026, with the first building being completed December 2027. Next slide, please. And again, going back to the community outreach, the applicant responded to some issues raised by Alderwoman Dowell and DPD. This has included the additional variance amongst the building materials to add a little bit of interest at the street level and up. Also, variation of the roof line amongst the 4 buildings to provide variation in terms of geometry and mass. And again, as I mentioned before, we did secure letters of support from St. Thomas Episcopal Church, the Renaissance Collaborative, and the Southside Community Arts Center. Next slide, please. And here's our sub-area plan. Again, there are 4 sub-areas, of which 1 building will be built on each sub-area. One thing to note is sub-areas A and D will consist of will be a 22-unit building. Sub-areas B and C will include 23 dwelling units. All 4 buildings will include 14 parking spaces. Next slide. And with that, I will turn over the presentation to John Hanna to go through the plan. Thank you.
So each building, the lot size is about 10,000, almost 10,500 square feet. We've kept consistent with the front yard setback being 15 feet, which is standard in this area. And then the side setbacks are 5 foot each on each side. So the buildings will be 10 feet away from each other on the inner buildings. The rear yard setback, as Sylvia mentioned, will be 21 feet. Our open space is on the roof of the building, which is approximately 800 square feet. So basement floor plan, we have 9 parking spots in the basement, but with 2 units in front of the building. We think it's important to have an all residential look on the front of the building. And then we have the 26 bike parking spaces also located in the basement. Right. Typical floors, this is the first floor, but they, as you can see, they have 5 units on each floor. They're one bedroom and two bedrooms on each floor, and they range in square footage from 780 square feet to 1,100 square feet. But the typical floor, once again, we have 5 units or 6 units on each floor, depending on which building, and again, the square footage range between 700 to 1,100 square feet. All of it, that shows the roof open space there is required. And there will be a little amenity space up there for the tenants. As you can see, very articulated masonry buildings. We think very in keeping with what's going on. We're very proud of this project. So the heights are very consistent with the rest of the block, and a very detailed masonry side, all brick buildings all around. Just a little more blow up detail, shows the back of the building being all brick. Part of the building was a combination of limestone and detailed brick. With we have 4 different colors. Each building has a different color of the brick, but side elevation just showing the brick on the sides. Same thing. Just an overall, as you've seen, a highly articulated brick masonry building with balconies on the front. We like having balconies on the front. It's eyes on the street. Just a building section showing how the garage works, gets into the basement. There's ramp down, goes about 5 feet down below grade. There's our typical wall section that shows ceiling heights of each unit. I think they're roughly 9 foot 4 inches each for ceiling height, so nice ceiling height, including the basement. So I don't think I have anything to say. We are, as stated earlier, we are within some like 1,100 some odd feet to the train station. So a nice transit project. This just shows the open space, which we talked about already. And there's the 4 different brick colors that we have on sides of the building. Sustainable development, we're keeping with the 105, we have 105 points, and one of the main things we have here is the bird friendly glass. So we're doing bird friendly glass on all the leasing. Stormwater management, that we comply, we've had stormwater, we will do this, and we will comply with the stormwater ordinance.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
And as mentioned before, there will be 18 on-site ARO units. So in terms of the kind of the breakdown, in terms of the market rate, there are 15 1-bedrooms and 57 2-bedrooms in the ARO units. There will be 4 1-bedrooms and 14 2-bedroom units. In terms of AMI, we will have 3 1-bedroom units at 40%, 1 1-bedroom unit at 50%. And then for the 2-bedroom units, we will have 2 2-bedroom units at 50% AMI, 6 2-bedroom at 60% AMI, 3 2-bedrooms at 70% AMI, and 3 2-bedroom units at 80% AMI. Next slide. Next slide. Economic and community benefits. The total project cost for the entire project is $24 million, so $6 million per building. 60 construction jobs, 3 permanent jobs. As I mentioned before, it's a 4-phased development. Again, 18 aerial units on site. And again, the MBE strategy, we have reached out to the city assist agencies in order to meet the aspirational goals of 26% MBE, 6% WBE, 50% city workforce, of which 10% be from the 3rd ward. We have a letter of support, as James said, from Alderman Dell, that has been submitted to DPD. We'd also at this time like to thank James Winter and Noah Spranik with DPD for their assistance as part of applicants' PD process. and we respectfully request your favorable recommendation of this project. Thank you.
For the record again, I'm James Winter with the Department of Planning and Development. Department of Planning and Development has reviewed the materials submitted by the applicant and has concluded that the proposal would be appropriate for the following reasons. The proposed development is in compliance with the plan development standards and guidelines. Proposal promotes economically beneficial development patterns that are compatible with the character of the existing neighborhood. Proposal is designed to reinforce desirable urban features found within the surrounding area. Proposal ensures a level of amenities appropriate to the nature and scale of the project. Project promotes safe and efficient circulation of pedestrians, cyclists, and motor vehicles. Project is designed to promote pedestrian interest, safety, and comfort. Please refer to my staff report for further details on this project and the plans identified here today. Based on the foregoing, the zoning administrator recommends that the application for the establishment of the plan development and zoning map amendment be approved and forwarded to the City Council Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards as such. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have one speaker signed in to speak on this item, Mr. Butler Adams, who is for the proposal.
Yes, for the record, my name is Butler Adams, and please keep that rendering up. I got a chance to go to Alderman Dowd's meeting on the 22nd of January, was a Zoom meeting. And it's projects like this that I really, really like because it's very, very architecturally diverse. My eyes really drawn to the project. It's not something, a bland, boring, contemporary box. There's a lot of diversity in the design and the architecture, and I like to see stuff like this on all these vacant lots in the area. Bronzeville has been undergoing a basically construction boom for the past decade, and this is just kind of adding to it. At one time, this whole stretch of Michigan Avenue was lined with brownstone and graystone mansions, and now we're replacing that density with stuff like this. And I like to see that. I do hope that with your landscape plan that you actually add grass and not some of that turf. I've been following a lot of projects in the Brownsville area, and right at 40th in Indiana, there have been 5 brand new buildings built over the past year on a vacant lot. And instead of actually putting grass and trees down, they put turf down, which is very, very disturbing to me. So for your landscape plan, I hope you use actual greenery for your landscaping. I know that you all got like letters of support from churches and stuff like this. I think projects of this scale, this size should be as of right in this city there. I think too many loopholes, loops to jump through to get stuff like this approved. I would love to see some type of zoning reform in the city to have projects like this as of right, as was mentioned. It's only a 5-minute walk from 40th Indiana, a Green Line train stop. And I would love to see enough density along the Green Line to have 8-car trains and have that service run 24/7. That's what I want, enough density for stuff like that. But I think this is a good project, and would love to see more stuff like this in this area. The architect has been here. This is the 3rd time in the past 2 months you've been here, and keep doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. The commissioners have any questions for the staff or the applicant? Commissioner Tucker?
I really, even before Mr. Butler Adams' comments, I was gonna compliment the architecture. That is really my only comment.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do any other commissioners have any questions or comments? Commissioner Lawrence?
Quick question, are there any mature trees on the public right of way, and are we gonna preserve those as a part of it? I'm sorry if I missed that.
One tree. Yeah, one tree just at the edge of public parkway. It's pretty big tree. It's on the first lot on the north side, and this tree's being preserved. I think maybe the other one is smaller in the middle of the
Yeah.
project. Right, so all trees in the parkway stay. We don't really.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Anyone from Alderman Dowell's office here to speak or staff or make a statement?
We have a letter from her.
Very good. Well, if there's no other additional questions from staff or the applicant on this matter, do I have a motion on a proposed residential plan development submitted by Capricorn Design LLC for the property generally located 3746 66 South Michigan Avenue, finding that it meets the requirements for approval. So moved by Commissioner Boatright, seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Turner. With that, we'll move on to roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright,
Yes.
Commissioner Brumfield is yes. Commissioner Castaneda,
Yes.
Commissioner Kadaki,
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez Rosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman,
Yes.
Commissioner Turner.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Next item today, this is TV two with proposed lake.
Thanks, Tom.
Ordinance application submitted by A Haas LLC
Hey, nice to meet
for the
you.
property generally located at 1401 East 67th Place. The property is zoned RM5 and is within private use zone, the Lake Michigan Federal Protection District. The applicant is proposing to construct a four-story residential building with 6 dwelling units, 4 off-street parking spaces, and 6 bike parking spaces. This is LF number 787, located in the 5th floor. Omar Strokovich will provide context overview and present the proposed plan. Omar, whenever you're ready.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Omar Smile Bakeridge with the Department of Planning and Development. This project is a lakefront protection ordinance application generally located at 1401 East 67th Place in South Shore community area. The applicant is here today to request approval of lakefront protection ordinance application number 787 to construct a 4-story residential building with 6 dwelling units, 3 off-street parking spaces, and 6 bike parking spaces. This project is located within the South Shore community area, which has a total population of approximately 54,000 people, with a median income of $40,125. The site is considered a transit served location. It is served by the Metro Electric line as well as CTA bus routes 67 and 95. The nearest metro station is the Stony Island station, which is under half a mile from the subject site. The site is located in an RM5 zoning district. Site is currently vacant and is bounded by South Dorchester Avenue to the west, by a multifamily building to the south, East 67 Place to the north, and a vacant lot to the east. I'd like to pass this off to the applicant team to discuss the details of the project.
Thank you, Omar. For the record, my name is Fred Augustin, zoning attorney. Here with me this morning is our architect, John Hanna, as well as Brad Graham with the ownership. Just with a quick timeline, we filed the application. We have worked with Alderman Yancey's office on this and constant communication. They are full support. We just go over the drawings, and again, John is also here to answer any questions. Proposed site plan, the building we're talking about right now is the one to the, I believe, south corner, southwest corner, 1401. Next slide. So the first floor units, they're going to be first 2 units duplex into the basement. They're going to be all 3 beds, 2.5 baths, containing around 6,600. Again, first floor duplex into the basement. Second floor, these are just going to be simplex units, 2 beds, 2 baths, around 865 square feet each. And then the third, 4th floor units, again, those are going to be duplex units, again, containing 3 beds, 2.5 baths. And then final slide. The road plan, I believe it's going to be a common area for all the residents here. So this is how the elevation is going to look in the front. Side, again, all brick building. Third view of the elevation. Again, as Omar said, it's a transit served location. We are providing 3 off-street parking spaces as well as 6 bike spaces. And we have worked with landscaping on this. I think we are proposing 2 parkweed trees in our benefits. Construction jobs will be around 60 jobs. Again, it's a vacant lot. And both buildings, so with the building on the lot, it's gonna increase the tax base as well as providing additional housing near a transit station. And Omar.
Again, for the record, Omar Smailovic, with DPD. The Department of Planning and Development has reviewed the project materials submitted by the applicant and has concluded that this proposal is in compliance with the applicable policies of Lakefront Plan of Chicago and the purposes of the Lake of Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance. In particular, the proposal will increase personal safety by improving a vacant parcel and maintaining the residential character of the property, consistent with the character and zoning of the surrounding neighborhood. Please refer to the staff report for further details regarding this project and the plans identified here today. Based on the foregoing, it is the recommendation of the zoning administrator of the Department of Planning and Development that this application, being in conformance with the provisions of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance, be approved, subject to compliance with the plans presented to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. You have one speaker signed in to speak on this item. Who's for the proposal?
Again, that's me. For the record, my name is Butler Adams. I am for this proposal. This is really kind of home base for me because my family has owned property in Woodlawn for the past 100 years, not far from here, and I'm very, very familiar with this particular area. And there's a whole lot of vacant land that's sat empty for the past 4 or 5 decades. And it's nice to see more projects happening in this area. Just a few months ago, we had a proposal for a 26-story tall hotel just 2 or 3 blocks from this project. So I look forward to seeing this happen and more projects like this in this area. I will say that one thing that kind of disappoints me is it's hard to understand the rendering, but it will be nice if the rendering was in color to have a better appreciation of the architecture of the building. And I know we're going to have 2 buildings this next project as well, and I would ask the developer that you all saw the very first proposal, how the buildings were different. Please do the same thing here. Make some minor architectural differences to make the building stand out. I don't want to see twins, I want to see character. And the city, you all are doing a lot of things with these corridors, so I would also like you all to look at Stony Island, at least between 56th Street and 71st Street, and really utilize and monopolize on the proximity of Metro Electric, because it's there. It's kind of the bastard stepchild of public transportation, so I would love to see that really activated and have enough density around here to reopen a metro station at 67th Street. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Do commissioners have any questions of the staff or yet? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lawrence.
In terms of these are rentals, do you have a thought on the affordability or what the rents might be in the area it'll be affordable for?
Yeah, so the rents, I think the 3 beds we calculated be around $2,000 per month. 2 bedrooms give us around 2,000.
For a 2-bedroom?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anyone from Alderman Yancey or staff available?
We heard from Alderman Yancey, he's in support of the project. We hope to come in council today.
Thank you. After no additional questions for staff or the applicant, do I have a motion on a proposed Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance application submitted by JB Haas LLC for the property generally located at 1401 East 67th Place, finding that it meets the requirements for approval?
So
Moved by Commissioner Boatright, seconded by Commissioner Tillman. That will roll call votes. Commissioner Boatright.
Yes.
Commissioner Brumfield is yes. Commissioner Castaneda.
Yes.
Commissioner Quebec.
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons.
yes.
Commissioner Murphy.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez Rosa stepped away. Commissioner Tillman.
Yes.
Commissioner Furnace.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Well.
Next item is listed as D3, a proposed Lake Michigan and Chicago lakefront property ordinance application submitted by JBI's City for property generally located at 1403, 1405 East 67th Place. Property is zoned R5 and it's within the private use zone of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection District. The applicant is proposing to construct a 4-story residential building with 6 dwelling units, 4 off-street parking spaces, and 6 bike parking spaces. This is LF number 788, also located in the 5th Ward. Omar again will be providing context and overview for this proposed plan. Omar.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Omar Smailovic with the Department of Planning and Development. This project is a lakefront protection ordinance application generally located at 1403 through 1405 East 67th Place in the South Shore community area. The applicant is here today to request approval of lakefront protection ordinance application 788 to construct a 4-story residential building with 6 dwelling units, 4 off-street parking spaces, and 6 bike parking spaces. The project is located within the South Shore community area. And the site is considered a transit served location. The site is located in an RM5 residential multi-unit zoning district. The site is currently vacant. Now I'd like to pass it off to the applicant to discuss the details of the proposal.
Sure, again, for the record, Fred Augustin, here with me again is John Hanna, project architect at France, and with the ownership and development team. Here's the next slide. Again, very similar building to what we did, we just heard. Again, we have worked with Alderman Yancey's office. Here's the site plan. The building we're talking about now is the one to the north of the previous building. Slide. Same dynamic or same configuration of units. First floor duplex and basement. Second floor will be simplex units, 2 beds, 2 baths. There'll also be a rooftop deck as well. And as similar to the previous building, these will also be rental apartments. Again, pretty much same look of the building, all brick, round. Again, it's in a transit served location, as Omar stated, and again, landscaping on this. There are existing parkway trees and we're proposing 2 parkway trees as well. Economic benefits, again, it was a vacant lot. We're putting a building there, so it should increase the tax base, adding additional housing to transit served location, as well as providing around 60 jobs.
Again, for the record, Omar Smailovic from DPD. The Department of Planning and Development has reviewed the project material submitted by the applicant and has concluded that its proposal is in compliance with the applicable policies of the Lakefront Plan of Chicago and the purposes of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance. Please refer to the staff report for further details regarding this project and the plans identified here today. Based on the foregoing, it is the recommendation of the zoning administrator of the Department of Planning and Development that this application, being in conformance with the provisions of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance, be approved, subject to compliance with the plans presented to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. We do have one public speaker signed in to speak on this item, Mr. Butler Adams, who is for the proposal.
Again, for the record, my name is Butler Adams, and kind of copy cut paste what I said for the previous proposal for the developer. Again, if you could make some minor details in terms of brick color, cornice line and stuff like that, just to make it a little stand out differently from your previous proposal. I would love to see projects like this twice as tall and twice as dense in this area, and again with the proximity to Metro Electric. I'm looking forward to more of the lot being filled in. And there's a very, very nice project right now being built on the north side, in like the 5900 block of North Carolina, this beautiful brand new courtyard building using brick and stuff like that and stone. So I would like to move to start building stuff like that again as well in this area, because we have so much vacant land to do it. But for this project, again, thumbs up, just make some minor changes in terms of the brick color and stuff like that. And I look forward to see this lot get filled in.
Thank you, Mr. Do commissioners have any questions on the staff? No questions? Is there a letter in support on file for this?
Same, spoke to him yesterday, but with council, they unable to attend to speak in favor, but he's in favor of it.
Thank you, Noah. Commissioners, do I have any additional questions for staff or the applicant? Do I have a motion for proposed Lake Michigan Chicago Riverfront Protection Ordinance application submitted by JD Oz LLC for a property generally located at 1403, 1405 East 67th Place, finding that it meets the requirements for approval? So moved by Commissioner Boatright, seconded by. That's now. With that, I'd like to do a roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright. Commissioner Brumfield is yes. Commissioner Castaneda.
Yes.
Commissioner Kadakian.
Yes.
Mr. Lyons.
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy.
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman. Commissioner Turner.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is listed as D4, proposed amendment to residential business plan development number 1431, submitted by 1133 West Van Buren LLC for a property generally located at 1133 West Van Buren Street. The applicant proposes an amendment to plan development number 1431 to add additional permitted uses with sub-area B. No changes to the allowed bulk propensity of plan development 1431 are proposed. Sub-area A will remain unchanged. Item number 22912, located in the 34th Ward. Nancy Wang will provide the context overview and present both plans.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, my name is Yang Wang with the Department of Planning and Development. Proposed development is generally located at 1133 West Van Buren Street and is located within the near West Side community area within the 34th Ward. The applicant 1133 West Van Buren LLC and their development teams appear here today to propose an amendment. Plan development number 1424 for the subject site. The applicant proposed to amend residential business plan development 1431 to add additional permitted uses within sub-area B to permit the operation of a cannabis dispensary within the ground floor of the existing commercial building. No adjustments or modifications to the allowed bound or density of planned development 1431 are proposed, and the sub-area A will remain unchanged. The proposed development is located in the near West Side community area, which has an estimated population of 66,084 and a median age of 32.7. This slide illustrates the site concept. The property is located within a 2-minute walk of the recent Blue Line CTA station. The surrounding 1,320-foot radius includes 1 CTA rail station, 3 designated bus routes, served by 11 bus stops and 3 DB bank and border stations. In addition, the site is adjacent to the West Loop and the Greektown commercial corridor, directly across from a target within a 10 to 15-minute walk of multiple grocery stores, and conveniently located within walking distance of the USC campus and the Illinois Medical District. The surrounding area consists of a mix of commercial uses, including various retail, office, and service-oriented establishments. Plan development number 1431 was originally adopted in 2018 to establish a residential business plan development with 2 suburbs. The development has been built out. The site was zoned DX-7 downtown mixed-use district prior to the establishment of planned development 1431. The surrounding land use is characterized by a mix of residential, commercial, and institutional and light industrial uses. I'll now turn the presentation over to the applicant team to present the details of the proposed amendment.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Long. Good morning, esteemed commissioners. For the record, once more, my name is Sarah Barnes, and I'm an attorney and partner with the law offices of Gostecki, Del Giudice, Americas, and Mercado LLP. I'm super excited and respectfully humbled to be here this morning in front of all you, and especially on behalf of this applicant team. Here with me today again, once more for the record, is Calvin Brown, the sole owner and manager of Equitized Holdings LLC, a social equity cannabis license holder here in Illinois. We also have our consultant, Ryan Sanhamel, and the property owner, Shai Wolfowicki, who is a member of the applicant LLC. Just to expand a little more on what Ms. Wong just described, because this is a little unique. Typically, these types of requests go through the zoning board of appeals, but because we are within a current plan development, the proper process is to come before the board and seek an amendment, and that's solely to expand the allowed and permitted uses under this particular sub area only. And towards that end, the proposed cannabis dispensary, which again would be an adult use retail cannabis dispensary, is quite compatible with the other allowed and permitted uses for sub area B that were ratified with the original 2018 PD, which include office, eating and drinking establishments with accessory liquor sales, artistic work or sales space, medical service, and general retail sales, including food and beverage, as well as personal service, which includes fitness, recreation, beauty, and spa. So we feel that the use is certainly compatible, and it was one of the draws to this particular site. As you can see from the aerial view above, the subject building comprises the southeast segment of the planned development boundary. It is a 2-story standalone building. The proposed cannabis dispensary would only occupy the first floor of this building, which was previously occupied by a surveillance consulting office. There will remain offices on the second floor that are completely out of scope and not contemplated for any use accompanying the cannabis dispensary. Towards these ends, the owner who's here today again is seeking to more meaningfully reactivate this building because it is so centrally located, as Ms. Wong already described. And in doing so, it would be with the tenancy of Equitized Holdings LLC in order to operate, again, a social equity cannabis retail dispensary within the first floor. For a little matter more background and color, Equitized Holdings LLC is a privately held social equity cannabis license holder. Mr. Brown is the sole owner and manager of Equitized Holdings LLC. He is also a longtime resident with roots right here in this neighborhood, which is again what drew him to this property out of all of the places that he could have placed his license throughout Illinois in the city. He is working with certain consultants, which include the National Diversity and Inclusion Cannabis Alliance, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to create an inclusionary, equitable, and ethical cannabis industry, and they currently do operate in several other U.S. jurisdictions. Mr. Brown will also be bringing in, and as Mr. Sanhamel is a member of the Bridge as an operating consultant. The Bridge is a privately held social equity cannabis and wellness company. Again, they are only acting in consulting capacity. The Bridge similarly has roots right here in the West Town neighborhood. And again, it was kind of one of the reasons and draws that brought this whole group to this particular site. And that is to just collaborate, grow, and service the many residents of the area. In order to permit the proposal, as Ms. Wong said, we do require an amendment to the PD. Again, just to underscore, that is only to allow us to expand that use statement within the PD ordinance to allow a cannabis dispensary to operate at the subject property sub area B only. Towards these ends, as a part of the community engagement process, which I have to commend Alderman Conway's office, was quite robust. And I'll get to that in a moment. The applicant and the alderman have memorialized a commitment that the additional use, which is for the cannabis dispensary, which is permitted by this amendment, is going to be restricted to the sole and exclusive benefit of Equitized Holdings LLC. So that if there were any other interested parties that wanted to come in and operate a cannabis dispensary at this location, they would have to go through the the PD amendment process, just like we did. All right. With that, these are just a couple more views of the subject building as it exists today. We have the south side of the site, which is along Van Buren. There's some good amount of landscaping, and then the other one is the northeast side of the site. That actually is a public way, not an alley, even though it kind of functions more like a public alley, and that is where all of the off-street loading and deliveries for the dispensary will be accommodated. There's a secure loading berth right there. That's just a little bit more about the pay. So this is what I was getting to earlier, in regard to our community engagement. We started this journey, back in July of 2025, when we introduced the proposal, to Alderman Conway and his office. We then proceeded to community engagement, which took place between July of 2025 all the way through October of 2025. That included initial outreach to the West Central Association as well as the neighbors of the West Loop. We met with the neighbors of the West Loop on August 11th, 2025, and then we met with the WCA on August 27th, 2025. Both of those organizations had general support of the proposal, again, given that commitment that it goes solely to the exclusive benefit of Equitized Holdings LLC. In addition to those community liaisons and organizations, we also reached out to and had meetings with several of the neighboring property managers, associations, and residents, which included 1245 West Jackson, which is Newcastle Investors, and 1035 West Van Buren, as well as Fort South Morgan, 323 South Racine, 1125 West Van Buren, and 1044 West Van Buren. Again, we spent a good amount of time collaborating with them on the operating procedures and benefits of this project, and we're looking forward to continuing to collaborate with all of these residents and associations as hopefully we get up and operating. After that, we also had a petition that was signed by many residents of the community that signed in support. Those emails and the petition were provided to, and actually went directly to Alderman Conway's office. After some deliberation, Alderman Conway did issue his general support to proceed with the plan development amendment on October 2nd, 2025, which is when we subsequently then proceeded with an application introduced into City Council on November 14th. And now we're here before you today, humbly requesting your approval of this amendment. And if all goes well, the intent would be to have our grand opening on April 1st, 2026, or around that time, and hope that you all could be there. All right, here's another general view of the subject property. As you can see, one of the benefits of this site, which is unlike any other dispensary that I've seen in the city, and I've worked on several myself, we are completely self-contained wholly within the planned development site. So there won't be any activity disrupting the adjacent public ways, which is really important because this is a pretty vital intersection for the community. So as you see, we have our own off-street parking lot, and which also will accommodate rideshare drop-off and pickup. And that is for the exclusive use of the cannabis dispensary. As well, we have the off-street loading that I was describing earlier. This is just another view of the site plan. This is the floor plan. This has been, again, it was developed in conjunction with the consultants as well as with the state of Illinois Cannabis Regulation Board. What you see as the front part is the publicly accessible retail spaces. There is a security check-in that will follow all rules and regulations for the cannabis industry, and that includes, there will be security at the front door, monitoring all ingress and egress by pedestrians and customers, and then the entire back space is strictly and highly regulated and restricted to staff only. Another benefit of this building is we're really just adaptively reusing the first floor of the building. So it does, requires really minimal interior renovations, just a build out to convert it from office to retail. And then again, to kind of meet those heightened security and safety regulations that are a part of the Illinois Cannabis Regulations Act. So in the end, we anticipate a budget of between 150 to 250 for the interior renovations, but that is exclusive of all of the financial resources that have already been exhausted and invested into this project, and other investments that will be made towards final permitting and operations and marketing, which we believe will exceed $500,000. There is also, towards that end, a commitment, which was made publicly along the community engagement route to the alderman as well. And as a part of our PD amendment application, there is a commitment that there is only going to be union labor that will be used, as well as MBE and WBE business enterprises and local hiring. These are some of the, again, I said, since it's not new construction, there's only really modest upgrades being done, but since public safety is the utmost importance for the applicant, in addition to just simply activating that ground floor pedestrian route along Van Buren Street, which I said is highly utilized right now. We are going to be providing some other enhancements, which include adding additional LED low lighting along the pedestrian pathway, as well as Mr. Brown made some commitments to do some beautiful plantings of the seasonal variety along Van Buren with some of the community organizations. They're also going to be installing additional surveillance cameras, again, consistent with the state of Illinois Cannabis Regulations Act, that will be noticeable enough to hopefully also deter any illicit behaviors and actions that might transpire in the neighborhood and in particular around this site. But the added benefit to the community is those surveillance cameras do expand about over 500 feet in each direction. So they're going to be covering the intersection, Target, there's a gas station. So they'll be able to keep more eyes on the street and capture any of that activity that we've learned through community engagement has been a concern already. Thank you. This just goes back to those additional public safety standards that kind of come inherent in the operation of a cannabis dispensary, which are an additional supplemental community benefit. They'll have on-site security personnel, full-time in-house security staff, and again, they are going to be, or one of the companies with whom they are contracting is a social equity and unionized security company that is comprised of former military and Chicago police officers. And then again, we'll have the surveillance cameras and a very high detailed video surveillance system, as well as internal also multimodal security measures. And at this point, because again, this is really his dream, his vision, I would like to turn the floor over to Mr. Brown so he can walk you all through a little bit of his vision and all that his company does to give back to the community already.
One. This is bringing back home to me. I was born practically across the street at Cook County Hospital, grew up across the street from IIT. My first job was at the corner of Clinton and Jefferson. At one point had a business in the old Maxwell Street Market. My aunt was a teacher at Whitney Young. I grew up here. So over the years, I've done with young men who traveled the world and done different businesses and tried different things. And I just find it fitting that full circle, I come back here. I'm at home. Bringing something back to the neighborhood I grew up in, the neighborhood I love. The timeline says that we started the community engagement and all this in July of this year, but when I was blessed with this license, the Alderman's office, I reached out to close to 2 years ago, because I wanted to bring it home. I wanted to make a difference. The West Loop and West Loop area has undergone such a transformation over the last decade or two, and we've seen it from, to go back to what Maxwell Street Market to now. And now I have an opportunity to be part of that, to bring back to that, to bring the people who actually made this neighborhood back into the progression of it. So my goal is to being part of the community, helping the community how I can, reach out to those near West Siders, near South Siders, to give them a picture that looks like them, and this is what you can do, and to help them do it. So there's a lot of people in my position, and I know several of them who were best with licenses and said, okay, well, here's some quick money. Let me sell it off to whoever. They know, no, we're not doing that. We're here for the long run. We are here to create visual, real generational wealth for not only ourselves, but anybody that we can bring along for the ride. We're here to provide, we're here to teach, we're here to uplift. Because we all know that cities moving out, and as it moves out, we get moved out. So no, we're staying, we're here, we're inclusive.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Susan, if you just wanna just quickly talk through again some of the community benefits that are inherent in the actual operations of the county of Prince-William and how you already give back.
Yep, so my name is Ryan Sanhamel, consult and support Equitas Holdings. I'm a board member of the National Diversity Inclusion Cannabis Alliance. I'm from Park Ridge. I lived in the city for about 10 years, Wrigleyville, Gold Coast, and the West Loop. Personally, I'm the CEO of Prime Medical Group. We have a large first responder and military program, reversing the suicide rate and coping with PTSD with the symptoms. I'm a committeeman for Standing Tall Foundation. We do educational scholarships to multiple Chicago Jesuit high schools and elementary schools. What else? I'm the co-founder and president of Park Ridge Junior Hawks Athletic Club. I have 230 kids in my program. It's a nonprofit. We've been doing it for 25 years. We have underneath our baseball, softball program, the Chicago Ravens and the Chicago Cardinals. 40% of our kids are from the city, 60% are from Park Ridge. We're all about inclusion, developing the kids on and off the field. To that point, Calvin and I met doing nonprofit work with Indica, and we want to continue the mission in doing so.
These are just again some more of their events to the community. and the work that the profound work they've already done in the community. Oh, job creation, another super huge benefit, and one that was discussed throughout the community engagement process. There will be at least 12 to 18 permanent jobs created by this dispensary. And those will all come with competitive wages, benefits, and advancement opportunities. They also, Alvin and Mr. Sanhamel, they have a commitment to utilizing and going within the community and doing a robust local hiring initiative. And they also do training in towards that end. So we'll continue to work with Alderman Conway's office on having different hiring fairs and truly making this a community, social equity, justice, and diversified business operation. As well, to along with those 12 to 18 full-time employees. Again, the construction work is a little bit more modest. So probably anticipate 8 to 10, up to 15 union tradespeople to help out with the TI scope renovations that we discussed. Again, they do have it's already an inherent MBE, WBE business enterprise, Equitized Holdings is, as well as all of their consultants. So towards that end, we are already meeting the minimum policy goals of the WBE, MBE policy initiative, and continue to advance that through all avenues of hiring, permanent and full-time, permanent and temporary. That's it. Thank you.
For the record again, my name is Yang Diwan with DPD. DPD has reviewed the proposal submitted by the applicant and has concluded that the proposed amendment to planned development 1431 would be appropriate for the following reasons. The proposed amendment complies with the planned development standards and guidelines. The proposed additional uses are compatible with the character of the surrounding area. Public infrastructure facilities and city services will continue to be adequate to serve the development. Please refer to my staff report for further details regarding this project and the plans identified here today. Based on the foregoing, it's a recommendation of the zoning administrator of DPD that this proposed amendment to planned development 1431 be approved and forwarded to the City Council Committee on Zoning Landmarks and Building Standards as such. DPD staff and representatives from the applicant team are here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do commissioners have any questions of the staff? If not, does anyone from Alderman Conway's staff here to speak?
Yeah, hi, Steve Valenziano with Alderman Conway's office. The Alderman supports this application and he strongly supports Mr. Brown and his commitment to this community and wants to thank you again for the above the normal levels of community outreach that you did. There's a lot of new residents in this area, a lot of new residential along Van Buren, high-rise buildings, and he went above and beyond to reach out to everybody to make sure that, you know, everybody was comfortable with this. Strongly supports this application.
Thank you. There are no other questions from the commissioners. Oh, sorry, you should
Well, I have more of a comment. I just wanted to say thank you particularly for the detail that you provided around the community and economic benefits. In particular around the permanent jobs. I think that is incredibly important in all projects. And I was curious, maybe for the record, if you could talk a little bit about what is a competitive wage in this type of job, and kind of a little bit about the job quality that folks can expect for the permanent jobs.
Yeah, so it's a common like 20 an hour or so. It is salary position. That's pretty much it. Depends on what levels, obviously, the manager, but security as well, if they're armed or not. So there's some variables, but it's very complex.
Well, again, thank you again for all of the detail around the benefits and what we can expect. I think that is incredibly helpful. So I appreciate your work together with all.
Thank you. We have a motion on a proposed amendment to residential business plan development number 1431 submitted by 1133 West Van Buren LLC for the property generally located at 1133 West Van Buren Street, finding that it meets the requirements for approval. So moved by Commissioner Boatright, seconded by Commissioner Lyons. With that, we'll do roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright.
Yes.
Commissioner Brookfield is a yes. Commissioner Castaneda has actually left her proxy vote yes. This item. Commissioner Kadakia,
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman,
Yes.
and Commissioner Turner. Yes. Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last item was the P5, an informational presentation on the Madison Street corridor study, an effort led by the West Region Plan, crafted vision for the land use development for Madison Street and the west side. Study area is bounded by Holland Avenue to the east, Kenton Avenue to the west. The road areas on the near west side, East Garfield Park and West Garfield Park community areas, as well as portions of the 27th, 28th wards. Plan will guide both public and private investment in the future by establishing further development typologies and priority areas of investment based on a robust community engagement approach. Mark Jones will provide context overview and presents the proposed plan.
Good morning, Chairman Brumfield and Commissioners. My name is Mark Jones. I'm a planner in the West Region of DPD.
My name is Brian Hacker. I'm supervising planner for the West Region in TPD.
This is an informational presentation of Madison Aid Development and Land Use Plan for the Madison Street corridor. So I'll be providing a summary of our plan overview. The Madison Street corridor study area extends from Hoyne on the east end to Kenton on the west, spanning 3 miles. The near west side, East Garfield Park and West Garfield Park community areas, and the 27th and 28th wards. This is a visual of the study area showing the 3 community areas. The study area also includes a section of Pulaski between the Green Line at Lake and the Blue Line on the 290 Eisenhower Expressway, as well as a portion of Kedzie between Madison and the CTA Green Line station. The intent of the plan is to create a community-oriented development framework that provides guidance on the preferred land uses, levels of density, and development typologies that are appropriate for the Madison Street corridor to guide public and private investments in the long term. The Madison Made Plan has 4 phases: existing conditions analysis, community engagement, plan recommendations, and implementation strategies, with community engagement running concurrently throughout all phases. We've completed our existing conditions analysis, and we're using that data to our outreach efforts. Our community engagement efforts have consisted of creating a working group that meets regularly, a public community meeting, small group stakeholder interviews, and an online survey, and attending local events hosted by stakeholders. We intend to host a second public meeting and to publish a second online survey, Q1 2026. We're using the data collected from our outreach efforts and existing conditions analysis to begin drafting plan recommendations. This is a visual of the timeline. A lot of what I just spoke about. We spent the first half of the summer briefing alders, forming a working group and working on our existing conditions analysis. Our first working group meeting was held late June, and we've met regularly since. Our first public meeting was late September, with the first online survey launching immediately after. Our next steps will be to draft recommendations and prepare for our next community meeting, the accompanying online survey in early 2026. This plan is a DPD West Region-led plan with no consultants. The team consists of our supervising planner, Brian Hacker, our urban designer, Alejandro Valverde, and myself. Our working group consists of active and vocal stakeholders that represent community development and advocacy organizations and who generally work and live in and around the project study area. Next, I'll provide a summary of our existing conditions analysis. We looked at population trends from the 1970s, household income from the 1990s. And from our observations, we've noticed that near West Side, it's kind of had a favorable trend since the 1970s. And West Garfield Park and East Garfield Park have kind of been pretty consistent with the decline in population, and the income has been pretty steady. This is a visual of the land uses along the corridor. Most of the housing is multifamily and mixed use, and commercial land use is prevalent. However, the corridor is plagued with vacant lots. There are 197 vacant parcels within the study area, with approximately 43% of those parcels being city-owned. The study area includes many historic buildings that are representative of its past as a thriving commercial corridor that was densely populated as identified in this map. However, many are vacant or underutilized and in need of investment, and participants in the planning process have expressed strong interest in renovation efforts. There are also many projects on the corridor that are recently completed or underway, with the 1901 project at the United Center being the most prominent. These projects represent a diversity of land uses that include affordable housing, healthcare and wellness, arts and culture, transportation infrastructure, and retail. There are also several large developments on city-owned land, such as the Fifth City Commons, Hub 32, Westgate, and Harvest Homes multifamily residential projects. Other projects supported by city grant funds include Sankofa Wellness Center, the K Business Incubator, Firebirds Art Center, and the MAPA Center for Arts and Activism. This is a slide showing a current investment summary in the area. It's just investment that's been in the study area and around it. Previous planning initiatives. The Garfield Park Right to Wellness Collaborative published the West Garfield Park Corridors Plan in 2022. It captures about a third of our study area and has a much broader scope than our plan. Though this plan was not formally adopted, we are using this plan as a point of reference. And I'd also like to point out that members of our working group are part of the Garfield Park Right to Wellness Collaborative. Next, I'll give a summary of our community engagement so far. We hosted our first public meeting late September. The meeting was opened by Alderman Urban, and we presented our findings thus far, hosted a Q&A, and used engagement boards to create a more interactive experience. Roughly 60 people attended this meeting and participated in planning exercises related to land use, development density, and corridor visioning. We published an online survey on the project site that received 114 responses. The survey had open-ended and multiple choice questions. Some of our key takeaways are that transit and mobility are key assets, and vacant lots, illegal drug sales, and unmaintained buildings are challenges. We created charts to capture the answers received, and we'll be using this data to inform our recommendation. We've attended various community events and engagement opportunities such as the West Garfield Park Fall Fest, LIST Quality of Life Planning, Bethel Harvest Project Engagement, 2 days of in-person stakeholder interviews with members of our working group and other community representatives. We've also been working with both Alderman Urban and Burnett throughout the process. They're both supportive of the plan, and we will continue to work with them as we move forward throughout the planning process. And then lastly, I'll get into our next steps. Next steps, we're drafting recommendations and existing conditions summary report, hold the community meeting number 2 and launch accompanying online survey, draft final report based on community input, and then return to CPC for adoption. For questions.
Thank you. Commissioners have any questions of staff? Commissioner Knappman.
Okay. I was wondering if you could say more about public safety in this area. It's a little challenging, even more so than a lot of other places in the city.
So, yeah, it's a very poignant question for this area. And actually yesterday I just had a meeting with the Institute for Nonviolence, which is opening a new, they're trying to open a new facility right in the middle of the Madison Pulaski West Garfield Park commercial district there. So, you know, that has been top of mind for us. You know, we are trying to work within the strategies and the powers that we have as a planning department And I think that can always get tricky when you're starting to talk about public safety issues, but because, you know, from our perspective, I think the efforts that we can make to help, you know, mitigate some of those challenges are in the long term. I think it's, you know, bringing activity back to the vacant storefronts. It's you know, having business owners that are, you know, from the community who are invested on the ground there. I think it's, you know, bringing equitable development back to those vacant lots that are there. But it's not just, you know, us as a city department, it's also the partnerships that we can make with those folks who are, you know, on the corridor, who are stakeholders there, as well as our local elected officials as well. That will be a thread that is in our, excuse me, our recommendations, you know, but at the same time, sticking more so to the levers that we can pull as DPD, as opposed to trying to, you know, you know, there isn't going to be like a policing component to this.
I'm just curious, and this is truly, I don't know, but do you, in situations where it's kind of a particularly significant issue, can you coordinate with, you know, communicate with other city departments, like the police department, or, you know, that kind of
I
thing?
think the police department is well aware of challenges, outside areas from a crime perspective. So there's always cross coordination. I think from our perspective, we recognize that, and Ronnie just said it eloquently, the power of Eisen Street. These are communities that have lost population over the last 50 years. And so a lot of our focus along many corridors is really thinking about mixed use development. How do we support the existing residents that are there? How do we support the existing businesses that are there while still attracting new businesses and making improvements to those corridors? So much of that has everything to do with eyes on the street, more foot traffic, ensuring that we have more vibrant corridors. So whether that's us doing these important plans that are led by the department without any consultants, or us ensuring that there are grants made available to really improve these corridors and provide the investments that our communities deserve, they're longing for. But there's always coordination. We don't, you know, make decisions in isolation. Community is important, you know, authentically engaged is so important for us, both within communities, but also within other departments. I think just the makeup of the plan commission as an example is just a testament to that important coordination. We're not doing it alone, we're doing it with our partners. And of course, ensuring that those partners have a pulse on what we're doing to help advance our collective goals.
I also just want to call another thing that I remember to mention is that us identifying that as a challenge in this plan has come overwhelmingly from our working group, our stakeholders, and through our survey. So it is this sort of broader challenge that kind of hangs over like what we're doing, whereas, you know, some of the things that we would hope to accomplish in this corridor, you know, it kind of affects everything. So yeah, you know, it's not us just identifying this, it's us trying to engage and listen to our partners and our stakeholders out there. And it is a huge concern.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner, sure.
I just wondered, like, in your study or your report that you're going to provide, is there any considerations for like the transportation aspect of it? Because it is a major street across the city. And here at CDOT, we do a lot of complete streets projects where we incorporate biking, scootering, and you know, just trying to make it more safe for all modes of transportation. Because I just want to kind of see how all that would fit into this here study. Because I mean, it's good to get these conversations happening early on, to get more, all the engagement that you're having, to get more input into the transportation aspect of it.
So yeah, that's an excellent question. Thank you. I'll take this one as well because I've been communicating with CDOT, of course, and the rest of the staff. So first off, you know, coming out of this study, I think that the things that we're looking to impact are, you know, land use regulation, the disposition and development of city-owned property, and economic development incentives. So those are all DPD realm, right? You know, however, I don't want anything that we do to be in a vacuum. So I have had a coordination meeting with, you know, a number of CDOT staff members, you know, who span like bike and pedestrian planning, streetscape, you know, legislative affairs, and, you know, just wanted to make them aware of the work that we're doing. And there is actually a, sort of, you know, I don't want to say complimentary, but a parallel, investment project on a good stretch of Madison to, rebuild, you know, like an arterial, you know, project there that may include some kind of, you know, revision to the cross section of the street. That said, you know, we've been intentional about, telling, you know, our, you know, stakeholders, community members, that there isn't like a infrastructure pot of money that's connected to this project to like rebuild the street. It's more, you know, from like what we can influence as DPD. However, we want to make sure that everything that we're doing is in coordination with all our other city department partners.
Yeah, 'cause I just felt like we're, you know, we do a project, we have a plan. I just want to make sure it's something like there is coordination happening, was, or just trying to figure out how we can implement your development, and transportation is all tied because it takes vehicles and people to walk or bike or whatever, their mode of transportation to drive the developments, or, you know, for them to
Yeah.
utilize it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I would say that, you know, there's a strong baseline of support for, you know, denser pedestrian oriented urban development to occur on this corridor. And I think this plan is more focused on this, you know, the details of that, like what are the different characters that we, you know, using that, you know, denser pedestrian oriented urban development as our baseline. Well, you know, where is that going to be more focused than in other places? You know, what are the different characters that we're going for on these different sections of the corridor? Because it's 3 miles of this major, you know, arterial. It really varies from section to section, you know, as you move from one community to the other. But yes, that will be an overarching theme to what we're doing, is that pedestrian oriented development. We'll continue to work with CDOT. We're also working with our partners at CDOT on the Reconnecting Communities plan. Mark is also assisting that. And they're very aware of the efforts that we're working on Madison here too. So I think that, yeah, it's been a good working relationship so far.
Are there any of the impact development or their staff members here to make a statement on this particular item or any letters?
Not today, we'll grab them here when it comes for a vote.
I just wanted to thank my staff too, Mark and Alejandro have been, you know, huge in getting to where we are today for this project, and have done excellent work. And, you know, it's when we're not working with a group of like a dozen consultants, it's, you know, we have to take on quite a bit of the load, and just want to commend their contributions to this plan.
No, it's good work. You know, good work. So. Okay. As mentioned, this was an information only item, so there's no vote necessary, so we can actually move on to the agenda, which includes adjournment. With that, this does conclude this month's meeting for Chicago Plan Commission. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved by Commissioner Turner, seconded by Calhoun. Roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright stepped away. Commissioner Bromfield is yes. Commissioner Castellana stepped away as well. Commissioner Kondakia,
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Tillman,
Yes.
and Commissioner Turner. Yes. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Oh, sorry. This meeting is officially adjourned at time of, I think, 11:30.
Won't be on the record because I think the recordings are, we forgot.
I'm so sorry.
You wanna go ahead and make the comments?
Go ahead. You want it on?
Sure.
I know this is informational, Butler Adams from the record. I love this. I love the fact that, you're, touching the part of the city that hasn't seen any kind of development for 60 years. It has been like this and been a lot, basically since the rise of 68. So I'm glad to see more development coming in this area. I think that any city on land should be upzoned to B 3-5, and I hope this, it looked at connecting what you're doing along Madison with Lake Street, just 2 blocks of north, because you have the green line there, we're talking transportation, there's a chance to, draw people to the green line, to get people back on the trains. And perhaps even have a stop at Western, because there's never been one there, so I think there's a lot of opportunity. And I hope that, we're doing, Madison right now, I hope that Lake Street is looked at in the future for additional density on Lake Street. And happy holidays and happy new year, and I'll see you all in June.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got.
Are you-